cards of life. I still don't really think that this is real, but it is. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda Graham, and I'm a Graham sales I just recently got married in April of last year, which is crazy. It's almost a year ago now. To a very supportive husband, Jacob. Very supportive. He actually does competitive barbecue cook-offs because my marriage box is on the grill. Supportive. So, before you ask, we do not have children. Except for a baby, who was giving us plenty of practice. Growing up, I never once thought I would be a Mary Kay lady, nor did I even know what Mary Kay was. I actually wanted to be a teacher, so I decided to go to school and get my degree in elementary education, and graduated the most, awful time for education. I graduated in 2009, which were the industry things for education on layoffs were happening for teachers. So I decided to be a substitute for a year and a half, and which I loved being a substitute, but my bank account not so much. So I had to make another decision to leave what I love doing and join the corporate world. And I actually joined a financial firm down in the Galleria area at that time, and I was there for 3 years, and it actually turned me into a very negative person that I did not like. And finally realized, and I decided to leave with no backup plan, no job lined up, and nothing. I just decided that I was done, so I left. And everyone thought I was crazy, and it's totally not my personality to do that either, but I did. So, pretty good decision, I like to say. But shortly after I left, I actually received a message on Facebook from a friend of mine that I've known since junior high, and she invited me to an event in the Woodlands. And I got this message from 10 o'clock at night, and she told me she was going to come pick me up at 8 o'clock the next morning, and I was like, what? It was really early for me for a Saturday morning. But I decided that I would go, and I was really glad that I did, and immediately I thought, okay, this better really be good, considering that I'm being a very supportive friend at the moment, and I'm leaving the house for you at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. So it was probably a good hour drive to the Woodlands, and we got there, we pulled in, and I saw a parking lot literally full of pink Cadillacs, and I was like, okay, well, this must be the place. Hard to miss. And I walked in, and the first woman that saw me was 5 foot nothing, 5 inch heels. Like, I could put her in my pocket. She's a very, very little lady. And she was so excited that I was there. And she just said, hi, how are you? I'm so glad you came. And I'm like, I don't know you. I've never met you before in my life. And everyone was just so excited and so happy, and I was thinking there were mimosas somewhere that I was missing out on. They were really happy for so early in the morning. There were no mimosas. Just kidding. But while I was there, I actually had the privilege to listen to a national sales director by the name of Lisa Allison. And at the time, I didn't know anything about her, who she was, what she did, except for the fact that she had this super cute, blinged out jacket that I wanted. I was wondering where I could get one. It was really cute. But as soon as she said her name, my stomach dropped. And right then, at that moment, I knew I was supposed to be where God wanted me to be, because a friend of mine actually just lost her mom to breast cancer, whose name was also Lisa Allison. And by the time I came back and focused, she was talking about how she was a cancer survivor. Okay. I know. So fast forward, I signed my agreement, and didn't tell anybody. So okay, I was too afraid of what people were going to say. Thought they were going to tell me it was dumb, it's a scam, kind of thing. Which, sidebar, I eventually had to tell my husband what I did. I had a Mary Kay box show up on my porch a couple days later, and actually I used the money he gave me that day to sign up and order my starter kit, which I still owe him for, but we're married, so that kind of ends the whole thing. So, yeah. So, but after, realizing I didn't really need to worry about what everyone else thought, I just decided that it was what I wanted to do, and I needed to put my big girl panties on and do what I wanted to do. So I made the decision, I don't have anything to lose, just do it, see what happens, and I did. But I did not have the self-confidence to make it work as a full-time job to provide me with the full-time income that a corporate job would give me. So I continued to look for another corporate job. Should not have done. I regret it, but you live and you learn. And so I actually joined the oil and gas industry. Yeah. So I actually was hired to be a part of their materials receiving department. And a year later, from the downturn of the oil and gas industry that we have, my company started laying a lot of people off. And then I solely became the materials receiving department. And they also moved me to be part of the contracts department. So my responsibility kept growing, but my income did not. So I'm sure several of you can relate in here, that situation going on right now, if you're in the oil and gas industry. Crazy. So after I just was hired for that job, I just got engaged also around the same time. So I got really busy really fast, working a full-time job, planning a wedding, and trying to get this business going. And I'm sure my husband's really glad that the wedding planning is done and over with. That was kind of a stressful time for me. But I quickly realized that this whole corporate role thing and working to help other people get rich was a bunch of malarkey, and it was for the birds. Like, it just was not for me. So I decided to pick myself and put it up into gear and start working on my Mary Kay business a lot harder than what I had done before. And so now my plan B of my Mary Kay business is now very soon turning into my plan A as of actually Friday this week. I decided to lay off my corporate job before they could lay me off.
Yeah.